So I got asked to do one final video on the May the 30th card, just with a brief rundown of all my picks. I've done several individual videos over the last 2 or 3 days, but I appreciate some people maybe don't want to sit through all of those. So what I'll try and do is speak for no longer than 1 minute on each fight across this one video. I'll also give a general overview of the card and my thoughts. I appreciate I was struggling with a cold earlier on in the week, so I was pretty incoherent in some of the videos, so apologies for that. But I'll try and make things clear and simple and make my picks very, very obvious in this one. Let's start with the top of the card. Brook versus Gavin. I think Brook wins the fight. If I have to pick, I'll pick it's going the distance. I think Gavin is technically good, technically elusive. I don't really think he's eye-catching enough or carries enough power to take the fight away from Brook, and I think Brook gets the job done. Brook's proven against the top level, against guys like Sean Porter, whereas Gavin has struggled when he stepped up, even to the levels of Leonard Bunda and Bradley Skeet. So I think Brook potentially will put on a very, very wide points win. My advice for Gavin, punch to the body to highlight that doesn't do that, and present a moving target. Change up the reins and circle around the ring. If you just stand in front of and sit in front of his long 1-2, it's going to be an early night. I'm going Brook. I think Gavin is relatively tough. I think Gavin is solid technically and defensively. I'm saying the fight goes the different distance. A stoppage wouldn't surprise me, but if I have to pick, I'm going the distance. Kevin Mitchell versus Jorge Linares. In this fight, it's a fight that either guy could win by knockout. You know, both guys have given us concerns over their chins in the past. And Kevin Mitchell is not one to trust with your life savings. You know, Kevin Mitchell has underperformed when necessary. But right now, I kind of get the feeling that it's his time. Similar to the feeling I got with James DeGale last week. You know, it feels to me that Kevin Mitchell is ripe to win this. Jorge Linares missed weight initially today. You know, perhaps he's tight at the weight. Kevin Mitchell was excellent last time out. I'm going with Kevin Mitchell by mid to late stoppage. Again, like my first pick, not one I'd stake the house on. Genuine 50-50 fight. Find it really, really hard to come up with a prediction, but I think the most likely is Kevin Mitchell by stoppage. Selby versus Gradovitz. For me, this is a slightly easier one to pick. I'm going Selby points. I really am bought into Selby as a master boxer. He's got excellent skill sets. He lacks power and he's up against a tough, strong, come-forward guy. But I think Selby picks him off. I think Selby is able to show enough tools to, you know, really, really outpoint him, and potentially we could see a bit of a schooling. I think a wide points decision for Selby. John Ryder versus Blackwell. Again, a really tough fight to pick, but I'm going Blackwell on points. Fundamentally, I see Ryder as quite limited. Tough, strong, awkward, but a tendency to smother his work. I'm unsure about his combination punching. I'm unsure about his movement. I'm unsure about his power. And I'm not sure what he really brings to the table other than being big and strong and awkward. You know, Blackwell's got a new trainer in Gary Lockett. He's trained hard. He's got a good jab. He's solid defensively. I think he can outbox John Ryder. That's my thoughts on that fight. Anthony Joshua versus Kevin Johnson. I'm pretty sure Kevin Johnson will last the distance. I'm fascinated by the fact he's been training with Peter Fury. Apparently he's been training very, very hard. And I'm impressed by Kevin Johnson's previous performances in defeat. You know, he doesn't come to win. He doesn't maybe have a high enough punching output to upset Joshua. But he's defensively very, very solid. And I think he'll go the distance and possibly pose some interesting tests to Joshua. We'll find out a bit more about Joshua's punching power at a higher level, about his stamina, and you know how he deals with a more experienced, savvy fighter. I'm going Joshua points, and I expect Kevin Johnson to highlight that Anthony Joshua is not quite ready to be considered a top 10 heavyweight at this point. I think that's the top 5 fights on the bill. In terms of the undercard fights, John Wayne Hibbard to beat Dave Ryan. I think John Wayne Hibbard looked really good last time out, and I expect him to continue the momentum, and I think Scott Cardle will win against Craig Evans. Nathan Cleverly will win with ease against his opponent Thomas Mann, Thomas Mann is a small super middleweight. Nathan Cleverly is a big light heavyweight. I think the size difference, let alone the skill difference, will be too much in this fight. As for the bill as a whole, I'm very much looking forward to it. You know, you'll see in all of my predictions that I've made, you know, Brook, Gavin, I'm unsure if it would be a KO or points. Mitchell, Linares, genuine 50-50. Ryder, Blackwell, genuine 50-50. Even the fights that aren't 50-50s, like Brook, Gavin and Joshua Johnson, are for me fascinating encounters where we might learn quite a bit. Is it pay-per-view? It depends how you define pay-per-view, and it depends what you look for in a pay-per-view. It certainly doesn't have a sort of legendary fight that will be talked about for years on the bill in terms of the build-up, but in terms of solid, back-to-back, top-class action, it is there. I appreciate these fights could have been spread across several Saturday nights, I get that, but I'm very much looking forward to it. It should be a really, really good night of all action, and should be a good night. Leave your comments below. Please do let me know your picks. Thanks as always for watching.